Hello everyone! Sorry, I took an extra deep breath before I started that I didn't really need all of, so I figured I might as well use it up while we're here. Welcome back to another driving edition of the weekly Waypoint. This is Gran Turismo Sport, as you may have already figured out from the title. Not that hard to find out by the title. Don't know why I'm lingering on this point. And it's another one from my PS4. Sorry, I'm just super fucking into PS4 games right now, and I've barely touched my PC. I've been playing. I've got back into PC a little bit. I've played a few Halo matches while listening to my favourite podcast, Pictures Without Pictures. That's my podcast. I've got a podcast now. If you aren't already aware, if you head on over to the Kritigri live channel, you will find the VOD for it for when we recorded it live. Or if you head to your favourite podcasting app, you will find out that it's not there. It's instead on Spotify. But it is coming soon to your favourite podcasting app. There is a website called Anchor, as in like away yar anchor, that kind of anchor. I hope you enjoyed my pirate slash sailor impression there. And basically it's the best website in the world. Most of the time when I want to make something, be it a video or some other kind of content, I just want to make the thing and put it out, and there are so many fucking hurdles between me making it and me putting it out. There's usually some unforeseen problem that crops up, or I can't do something because there's a pro fee, like I've got to have a subscription to a fucking thumbnail making service or some shit, which, you know, they gotta make money too. I'm not necessarily disputing that, but either way, the way it works out is as an obstacle to me. And Anchor is like what you dream about, where everything you could possibly want out of it, it's there. And I know I sound like an advertisement right now. I'm not. I'm just a little bit shocked by how good that website is. I basically went to it and it was like, hey, do you want to record audio from your browser? I was like, no, I've already recorded it in, you know, Audacity, and we've already stuck it together and rendered it through Vegas Pro. I was like, okay, that's fine. You can just upload your own audio file. But here's some background music if you want it, which I didn't. And here's some, like, you can insert things to your recording and all that kind of stuff. I was like, wow, that's pretty robust. That's nice. I'm not doing any of that right now. I'm just trying to. I've already done all that. So I'm just gonna put the podcast up. Okay, cool. Hey, you want a thumbnail? And at this point, this is a point I always get to with projects. Shit, I do not have an inch of graphic design, what's the fucking word? Talent or basic function in my body. I can't graphic design to save my life. But they were just like, here's a huge library of pictures to choose from that you can combine with text. The only problem with it is you can't freely move the text around. You have to do either left, center, or right aligned, and then top, middle, or bottom. That's what you're limited to. But you can move the picture around, so you can do it that way. And I made what I think is quite a decent logo for Pictures Without Pictures on that website. And then I was like, okay, cool. Now I've just got to figure out how to put this on Spotify and, you know, possibly other podcasting apps, because I was looking that up earlier. It looks really fucking complicated, and they just give you a button. They're like, hey, do you want this on everything? And I was like, yes, I want this on everything. And they're like, okay, press this button. Now it's on everything. Well, it's on Spotify. The others take a little bit longer to approve. I'm still waiting on iTunes and Google Play Music and all that kind of stuff, but it is going to be there for all of you people who get your podcasts from locations that aren't as good as Spotify. And yeah, I'm really pleased with how it went. I'll just sum it up real quick. It's a movie podcast with me and Reese. I haven't seen a lot of movies and he has, so the general idea of a podcast is that I'm going to be watching a lot of his stuff for the first time. He's going to be more familiar with it, but we take notes when we watch a movie. It's like a book club. We come back and we talk about it, and it's a pretty heckin' fantastic time. We did Iron Man, and if you want to join us, next week is Iron Man 2, because we're doing phase 1 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe to start with, and we record that at 5 PM on a Monday. So if you want to come listen to us fuck up while we record, it won't be that different to if you just listen to the podcast anyway, because I don't really edit that shit out, which I probably should, and I probably will in future now that I know how. Okay, so the main thing that stopped me from doing a podcast for so long is I was worried about how much time it would take, but not only does it not actually take as much time as I was worried it would, like when I'm editing a video it usually takes a couple of hours. This, it renders really quickly, and there wasn't really much to it in the way of stuff I needed to edit, so it's pretty quick. But also I just fucking love doing it. It's like the weekly Waypoint, so I don't see it as like a time sink out of my free time. It's more just something that I do with my life that I really enjoy. We'll see if I feel that way 50 episodes from now. But yeah. Changing tracks real quick, I just want to make a note of that Ford GT you just saw spin out on the screen if you were watching. These are all AI opponents, and I think that just goes to show how difficult it is to control a Ford GT, at least in Gran Turismo Sport. It's the car I tried to record this stuff with, because I was like, I did a Ford GT in the Crew 2, it'd be cool to show what it's like in this game. So I spent, 150,000 credits on it. I was like, okay, let's get this show on the road. I tuned it up, and that thing is fucking impossible to corner with. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I've tuned it so maybe I gave it too much brake horsepower. I know you can adjust that in this game. Maybe I should have lowered the power a bit, but the car I'm in right now is I believe a Chevrolet Corvette. It's one of those special cars you have to buy for mileage points, so I'm not sure what's so different about it, if it's like from a movie or something. I don't even know. Hilariously, I'm not really a car person, but I do like cars, just from video games. Like, I look at a car and I don't think, I know all this stuff about the engine and the manufacturing and all this kind of shit, and I know what it's done in like sports and all that kind of shit. No, I look at it, I'm like, I remember I drove that in Need for Speed Underground 2, or I think that's where my love of Mazdas even comes from, actually, is that game. And yes, I have a Mazda in Gran Turismo Sport, but Gran Turismo is a game, or a franchise, I should say, that I grew up with, as I think most people who grew up with PlayStation did. For those of you unaware, I basically grew up on PS1, PS2, PSP, PS3, PS4. There's some more nuance to that journey, but I'm not going into that right now. We grew up with like Gran Turismo 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then I skipped 6, and this is the next one I've played, and it was always more like my sister's game or my dad's game. But I've grown to like it. In fact, the first one I really got into on my own, like Steam, was Gran Turismo PSP. I don't remember if that's what it was called, but it was basically a Gran Turismo game made exclusively for PSP, and I actually saved replays from that, and I don't think I ever did it, but I considered recording it with my iPod Touch and uploading it as like Gran Turismo replays and talking over it, and it would have been a little bit like the weekly Waypoint, what we're doing right now. So we're 100 and something episodes in. Is it 119 already? I might be wrong. There you go, there's my catchphrase again. But this is kind of maybe the earliest version of the weekly Waypoint I ever thought up, because I've talked before about how I've made the odd video of me recording Unreal Tournament and talking over it. In fact, I think that might still be live on this channel somewhere if you go back far enough. I'm not sure if I even privatized that. There was one video, maybe two videos I made. I called it Fragments. It was like frag/ments. Which is kind of a shit name if you ask me, to be critical of past Christian. But yeah, this game's kind of important to showcase on this series, I think, because it is kind of a progenitor to my idea for this series years and years and years ago. And there are people who say Gran Turismo is boring as a racer, and I absolutely see what they mean. Like, it feels slower, even if it might be more realistic for it. Like, obviously it's still fast, and certainly the perspective you're watching from now makes it look faster than it feels driving, but I can see why people think it's boring. Counterpoint though, I think it's really fun for like it's more of an emphasis on making sure you are braking at the right time and going into corners at an appropriate speed. And I'm not sure if it's already happened, but I did kind of crash out hilariously in one of these replays. And you know what? I've just considered watching this back now. There's copyrighted music in the background, so I hope I don't get dinged for that. Obviously, I won't be able to make any money off this video, but I'm one of a few hobbyists left on this site, so that's fine. YouTube hates hobbyists. You've got to fucking be successful, or they don't give a shit about you in any way. Oh, it's a platform, isn't it? It's a platform. I wish someone would come along and do an alternative to YouTube. And I know Vimeo exists, but that's already been around as long as YouTube has, and I don't think people care about it. We need a competitor to YouTube. Not because I'm necessarily going to move there, although I might, because YouTube is that bad, but they need competition. They have a hold on the market of YouTube, video web hosting right now, and they're sloppy because of it. They're lazy and they're shitty and it's annoying. And I don't have time to go into all of my gripes with YouTube because the video is ending. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Love you. We'll see you next week. Check out the podcast. Mwah.